I've been attacked so many times. Death threats, I've been sexualized.
Meanwhile,
Big mama. Yeah. Big mama. That big mama.
She would take pictures of herself in a bikini and upload them to her lonely male followers on social media. Then, Angel Reese would turn around and complain about being over-sexualized. Lonely men keep telling me to take more clothes off. It's so unfair! This week, Angel Reese, I guess, decided to take a step further.
Angel Reese was talking all that victimhood about being sexualized in the media. But guess what happened right after the Fever destroyed the Sky by 27 points at the United Center? She immediately posted thirst traps on social media like clockwork. This is the same player who complained about the attention she gets off the court, yet can't seem to focus on making basic layups when it actually matters. The hypocrisy is stunning, and the basketball gods served up some instant karma in front of a sold-out crowd. If you can't wait for Reese's next blooper, then comment "Fire the baby giraffe" down below. Let's go.
Nobody, like you got no time. You literally got a bra on and booty shorts on with your booty cheek hanging out the bottom of it. Like, why?
I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and not be there for them. So
picture this scene. The United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls, packed with over 19,000 fans for the first WNBA game ever played in that massive arena. You know what makes this even more incredible? The Indiana Fever walked into Chicago's house and absolutely demolished the Sky without their three biggest pieces. No Caitlin Clark, no Sophie Cunningham, no head coach Stephanie White. Just a group of hungry players ready to prove they didn't need their stars to embarrass Angel Reese on her home court.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Let's be real about what happened that night. While everyone expected the Sky to take advantage of the Fever's missing pieces, Kelsey Mitchell had other plans. She dropped 17 points on 5 of 11 shooting and completely took over the game when it mattered most. Mitchell wasn't just making shots. She was making statement shots that had the United Center crowd going silent. You could feel the energy shift as Chicago fans realized their team was getting picked apart by Indiana's role players.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
Lexi Hull showed up ready to work, hitting shots from beyond the arc with the kind of rhythm that makes coaches smile. She even surpassed 500 career points during the second quarter, marking another milestone in what's becoming a breakout season. Hull's shooting efficiency was exactly what the Fever needed to stretch Chicago's defense and create easy opportunities for her teammates. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston controlled the paint like she owned it, making Angel Reese look completely lost on both ends of the floor.
Boston trying to be a safety valve, 8 to shoot. Boston this time working against Reese, pivots, puts it up, and one opportunity. Aaliyah Boston clearing out all the traffic.
Speaking of Reese, this was painful to watch. She managed just 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting, which works out to a brutal 28.6% from the field. These weren't contested shots or difficult looks. We're talking about the kind of layups that high school players make in their sleep. Reese was a -20 for the game, meaning the Sky got outscored by 20 points every time she stepped on the court. Her teammates could only watch as she clanked shot after shot while the Fever pulled away.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What? Bang!
Natasha Howard added 13 solid points. And get this, Ari McDonald, who just signed a hardship contract, came in and dropped 12 points with 4 steals. McDonald looked more comfortable in her first game with the Fever than Reese did in her own building. That's the kind of depth and preparation that separates championship organizations from teams that rely on social media drama to stay relevant.
But both teams facing a little bit of adversity, having certain players out or not at full capacity.
McDonald, a huge triple in the corner. Mitchell, patient in the corner, flips it up top. Boston, other side. McDonald, another 3. I'm loving it.
The crowd started heading for the exits before the fourth quarter even ended. Think about that for a second. Chicago fans paid good money to see their team play in the biggest arena in the city, and they couldn't stomach watching the final minutes because the beating was so thorough. Some fans were even asking Caitlin Clark for autographs during warm-ups, which tells you everything about where the real star power was sitting that night. This wasn't just a loss for the Sky. It was a complete breakdown of everything they thought they knew about basketball. The Fever's role players outworked, outshot, and outplayed Chicago's supposed stars without breaking a sweat. When the final buzzer sounded on that 27-point massacre, it sent a clear message about which franchise has its priorities straight and which one is still figuring out the difference between basketball and Instagram content. But here's what makes this beating even more embarrassing for Angel Reese and the Sky. This wasn't even their worst performance against Indiana this season.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' minds at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2011. And
you know what's truly wild about that 27-point beatdown at the United Center? Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky should have been celebrating because they actually improved from their first meeting with the Fever this season. Back on May 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, the Sky got absolutely demolished by 35 points in a 93-58 massacre that made the recent loss look like a competitive game.
Angel Reese gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on?
Let's take you back to that May afternoon when Angel Reese thought she could get physical with Caitlin Clark and intimidate the rookie into backing down. The tension was building throughout the game as Reese tried to establish her presence through hard fouls and aggressive play. She was talking, she was pushing, she was doing everything except making shots when her team needed them most. You could see her trying to get inside Clark's head with the kind of antics that work in college but fall flat against professional players who've seen it all before.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool, but I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlin Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Oh yeah, look. Watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this.
This is where it gets interesting. While Reese was busy playing enforcer and apparently hearing crowd noises that may or may not have existed, she completely forgot about the part where you're supposed to actually play basketball. Her shooting performance that night was a painful 2 of 7 from the field for just 12 points. She grabbed 17 rebounds, which sounds impressive until you realize most of those came from her own missed shots and her teammates' struggles to convert easy opportunities. The Fever responded to Reese's physical play by doing what championship teams do. They let their basketball do the talking. Every time Reese tried to make the game about drama and intimidation, Indiana answered with crisp ball movement, efficient shooting, and the kind of professional composure that separates contenders from pretenders. The Fever didn't get drawn into Reese's theatrics. They just kept scoring and kept pulling away until the game became unwatchable for Sky fans. Here's what should have been a massive wake-up call for Chicago. When you lose by 35 points, that's not just a bad shooting night or unlucky bounces. That's a fundamental breakdown of everything you're supposed to do as a basketball team. The Sky's offensive execution was non-existent. Their defensive rotations looked confused, and their star player was more focused on starting conflicts than creating offense for her teammates. You would think getting embarrassed by 35 points in front of a national audience would force Angel Reese to go back to the gym and work on her fundamentals. You would think she'd spend the summer improving her shooting form, studying film, and figuring out how to contribute to winning basketball instead of manufactured drama. You would think a professional athlete would take that kind of humiliation as motivation to prove the doubters wrong. But did Reese learn anything from that May beatdown? The evidence suggests she spent more time planning her next social media post than perfecting her layup technique. The Sky went from losing by 35 points to losing by 27 points, which technically counts as improvement but still represents a complete inability to compete with a Fever team that wasn't even at full strength. The numbers don't lie about this pattern. 2 games against Indiana, 2 blowout losses, and the same player at the center of both disasters. While the Fever were building chemistry and developing the kind of depth that wins championships, Angel Reese was apparently focused on activities that had nothing to do with putting the ball in the basket. The timing of what happened next is absolutely mind-blowing. Angel Reese went on record talking about how she's been attacked so many times, death threats, I've been sexualized, and how unfair the whole situation is for her. She painted herself as this victim who just wants to be respected for her basketball skills and not judged for anything else. You could hear the frustration in her voice as she explained how she tries to ignore and I just try to stand strong through all the criticism and scrutiny that comes her way.
Big mama. Damn. Big mama. That big mama for real. It's so proportional, like.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's about 200.
It don't even look like it.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
Now let me see your booty. Dang.
But here's where the story takes a wild turn. Less than a week after giving that emotional interview about being unfairly sexualized, Angel Reese posted a video of herself twerking with rapper Sexy Y Red that had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. The internet went absolutely crazy, pointing out the obvious contradiction. Fans were screenshotting her complaints and putting them right next to the provocative content she was posting, and the hypocrisy was impossible to ignore.
Where I come from, this is tacky. There's nothing cute about this. I mean, yeah, what does that got to do with basketball? I mean, honestly. But don't you criticize her. Don't you do it, Rhodes. I mean, that's supposed to be, boy, that's great for a supposed role model to young women. It's disgusting. It is.
The video wasn't just a quick story that disappeared either. This was a full production that she clearly planned and posted for maximum attention. People were calling it tacky and embarrassing in the comments, and you could see the confusion from fans who genuinely didn't understand what they were supposed to believe. Was she a victim of unfair treatment, or was she actively participating in the exact behavior she was complaining about?
Kathy Engelbert, no space for hate, but you got your players putting this kind of stuff out and you expect people to not be critical of it. That's what you expect. It's not going to happen. Your players in your league are going to get criticized. I've said I think she'll be out of basketball in 2 to 3 years because she wants to be a podcaster, wants to be a social media influencer, doesn't really want to be a basketball player. If she does, she might play an Unrivaled, but not the WNBA. Her game seems to be more suited for that league.
This pattern keeps repeating itself with Angel Reese. She'll post provocative content, risque outfits, overly sexualized visuals, and clips that have zero connection to basketball, then act surprised when people respond to exactly what she's putting out there. It's like she's crafting an image, then getting upset when people actually notice the image she created. The fan reactions were brutal, with people calling out the obvious disconnect between her words and her actions in real time.
Caitlyn would never embarrass herself like that. No, she wouldn't. I mean, she just wouldn't. I mean, what are we doing?
Let's be real about how other players handle their social media presence. Look at Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston from the Fever. Their posts focus on basketball highlights, team celebrations, and supporting their teammates. When they share personal content, it's genuine moments that don't contradict everything they've said about wanting to be respected as athletes. The Fever's social media presence is primarily focused on celebrating their wins and building team chemistry, not generating controversy for attention.
Clark, she's been heavily scrutinized over the last, 2 or 3 years? I can't think of one time that Caitlin Clark embarrassed herself or the league. Seeing Caitlin Clark on social media twerking with Machine Gun Kelly. I have never seen Steph Curry publicly embarrass himself or the NBA.
The contrast is striking when you compare Reese's approach to players like Caitlin Clark, who keeps the focus on her basketball skills and lets her performance do the talking. Clark has built a massive following by being consistent with her message and her actions. She doesn't complain about attention while simultaneously seeking that same attention through provocative posts that have nothing to do with her sport.
Angel Reese wants to shake her ass and seek validation from lonely men. Fine, but I think what Angel Reese really wants, and this is just me speculating, I don't know her, but I think what Angel Reese really wants is to be respected. Kinda hard to earn respect when you're exploiting yourself on social media. Even though most people don't consider Angel Reese to be the face of the league, she does. If you're the face of the league, that comes with certain expectations, responsibility.
You know what the real problem is here? When you're spending time planning thirst trap content and managing social media drama, you're not spending time in the gym working on your shooting form. The numbers from both games against the Fever tell the whole story. While Angel Reese was focused on everything except basketball, the Fever players were developing the skills and chemistry that win games. This affects her credibility as a professional athlete and raises questions about what her actual priorities are. When you publicly complain about being sexualized, then immediately post content that sexualizes yourself, fans start to wonder if you're serious about basketball or just looking for attention. The basketball gods seem to notice this contradiction too, and they delivered the perfect response through back-to-back blowout losses that exposed exactly where her focus really was.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball? Now,
here's the truth that Angel Reese doesn't want to face. While she's busy playing victim and posting thirst traps after getting destroyed on the basketball court, the Indiana Fever are building something special. They've got depth, they've got chemistry, and they've got players who understand that basketball comes first. Fans are already excited about what 2025 will bring when Caitlin Clark returns healthy, and this team gets even stronger. Support teams that focus on winning games instead of manufacturing drama. The Fever have shown they can beat you with their stars or without them, and that's championship culture right there. If you can't wait for Reese's next blooper, then comment "Fire the baby giraffe" down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.